Science is pretty neat. Frozen, fresh, pretty neat. Batteries, they're pretty neat.
Pretty neat, huh? We now have an image on the whole screen. Pretty neat, huh? Whether or not LDG made its way into karaoke is unclear, but it's still pretty neat.
And the laptop is able to record those signals as sound. Pretty neat, huh?
Also, the emergency vehicle detectors are a pretty neat thing that perhaps you know how they work, but I'll tell you anyway.
That means one program can actually create multiple daily recordings, which is pretty neat.
That's pretty neat and weird stuff, isn't it? Which is pretty neat.
It's some pretty neat stuff, I'll admit.
Installation is pretty neat stuff. It's pretty neat.
That's actually a pretty neat part that often gets overlooked. So that's pretty neat.
Pretty neat, huh? In fact, these fan controls are themselves pretty neat.
And I remember hearing about it and thinking it was pretty neat. They're pretty neat.
Magnetic tape is some pretty neat stuff. And that's pretty neat. The invention of the coffee percolator was itself a pretty neat thing. Pretty neat. So, these were pretty neat little things. Seriously though, this is pretty neat. Now you have the perfect flame for making a gas mantle glow nice and bright. Pretty neat, huh? Is that you get double the exposures on every roll of film. That's pretty neat. To provide coloration after the image has been drawn. Pretty neat thinking. That's pretty neat.
Of course, I think that's pretty neat, but let's be honest, it's a flaw.
They glow. Pretty neat. And literally one of a kind, which is pretty neat, I gotta say. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty neat. They're pretty neat, all on their own. Every passing year breaks a new record for renewables generation, and that's pretty neat.
Pretty neat. This would be really helpful to me to give exposure to the channel in other countries, as well as just being pretty neat.
The only conclusion I want to lead you to today is that these are pretty neat.